All right. Well, welcome. And thank you so much for joining me for today's 15-minute franchisee interview. We always love to hear from owners and how they're doing in their business and their insights to being an owner with Right at Home. So let's go ahead and get started. And why don't you share with everyone who you are, where you're located, the number of territories you own, and when you became a Right at Home owner?
Okay, so we have Northeast Mississippi. My name is Dawn Hardenburg, and I am actually a co-owner with Carla and Robert Strickland. And so I've worked in the business since we opened this particular franchise in 2014, but I became an owner in February of last year, so 2024. So I've just been part of it all along the way.
I love that. So, why don't you tell us a little bit more about your journey? So, being with them every step of the way, and then just last year becoming an owner. Walk us through that journey.
I always, whenever people ask me why I decided right at home or why I do this, I always say right at home found me. I did not go looking or searching. It was truly an opportunity. Carla and Robert Strickland are now my mother and father-in-law. So I
Oh,
was dating their son at the time and was there for dinner. We had heard about this investment that they were doing in their life and kind of the last stage of their career.
mm,
They had taken care of a family member in the home, and she was 99 years old, lived with them for a couple of years, and they used a competitor for her care. I never had the pleasure of meeting her, but my husband was somewhat of a caregiver for her. And so I heard things along the years about their experience. And so one day we were eating there at the house, and she started to tell me about how she was really struggling to find someone to work alongside her because Robert was not working in the business. He was just, her partner from afar, and
mhm,
she needed someone to work with her. And it was only through discussing those things that I said, well, I might be interested in working with you.
mhm.
And as we left that night, I told my husband, my now husband, how crazy I was for saying that to her. I knew that she was very smart and very serious with work and had high expectations. And she had always done a really good job. And so that was a little intimidating. I came from banking and did that for years and never thought I'd leave. I enjoyed it. I was not out looking for a job ever. I
Mhm.
enjoyed what I did. And sure enough, I had an interview with her. It was a 2.5 hour interview because we had some extra things to go over as far as if things don't work out with relationships or family, what that looks like, what is the expectation. And so she offered me a position. I started with her before the business actually opened our doors. We went down to the New Orleans Right at Home office and kind of just looked at their day to day and had a really good time getting started. Needless to say, things went very well.
Mhm.
Um, we got married. My mother-in-law and I worked very well together for many years. And what happened is they started getting ready to step into retirement. And so the plan was always that I would carry it on. And it's been very successful, and we've been very blessed to have a really good working relationship
Mhm.
and be like-minded in where we saw the business headed.
I love that story and congratulations, not only on your marriage, but then being a part of a legacy business. It doesn't get any better than that. So that's wonderful. And so walk us through what a typical day looks like for you.
It's different every day. And I saw one of the other videos, and some of the owners say that in the beginning,
Mhm.
things were a lot different than they were later on. And that's been how it is for me because I started as a scheduler
Mhm.
and I have done every single position in this office and grown with it because we started brand new with no
Mhm.
clients, no caregivers. We did not
Mhm.
buy an existing franchise. And so that was very tough with neither of us being in this industry whatsoever and not knowing what we were doing. And
Mhm.
so we learned everything from the ground up. And so when I say I have done everything, I have done everything. Last week, I was calling the plumber about a water issue, and I might be putting out fires. Right now, we are short not technically short, but we're blessed to need a second scheduler,
Mhm.
just due to growth. And so right now, a lot of my day is kind of helping with overflow, what types of fires need putting out. When I'm not doing that, I'm catching up on paperwork and all of the other things. I am very close with a lot of our referral sources and have really grown with them over the years. So I do try to get out and see them. I do most of the marketing. And so every day is very different, but I think that keeps it exciting. So if you don't like doing the same thing every day, then you'll have a great time.
I love that. And talk to me a little bit more about those relationships in your community and the value of those relationships.
I've always said it would be very hard for me to give up the marketing role. And
Hmm.
that's because in that type of field, you see a lot of turnover. So for me, they have seen the same face for 11 years now. And that really stands apart with the others. They know me, they trust me, and I'm a senior care advisor as well. So I now have a reputation in our market as the one that they call, not just for home care, but if
Hmm.
someone needs any type of home based service or planning for the future. One
Hmm.
of my neighbors is dealing with cancer and they needed someone to come and cut her hair in the home
Hmm.
just a couple of weeks ago. So I try to always be willing to help with everything. And when
Hmm.
you're willing to do that, they'll call you for anything. And so I just feel like I have that strong relationship with some of those that have been in their roles for years. They
Hmm.
can call me, they can depend on me, they have my cell phone number, and it's just a really strong partnership. So if they have a few different choices,
Hmm.
as long as we do our job, I don't think it's a tough choice on who they send it to or who they refer their own family members to.
Hmm. Absolutely. So it sounds like really just massaging those relationships and building trust goes a long way
Yes.
in those referrals. Thank you for sharing that. And, in thinking about the support structure that Right at Home does provide, which part of that support do you feel is most valuable to you?
I'm going to say the business coach. I had Todd Winterstein for a long time, and now I've worked with Joe Smithberg for a while, and those have been my favorites. They are so helpful. Joe is really good at the marketing
Mhm.
aspect, and that was a part that I could be stronger in always
Mhm.
because I still have a business to run, right? And so sometimes things get kind of pushed on the back burner because there's other priorities. And Joe,
Mhm.
or really any business coach, they're there for you. They're rooting for you. I can text, email, call. They're available, and they want to see us succeed.
Mhm.
And having just your own partner and coach is great.
Wonderful. And it's nice to have that built-in consultant, like you said, just that go-to for questions along the way. So, and thinking about even just staff in general or community, I'd love for you to share a recent story that really just impacted you or made you feel really good about the service that you provide.
I have so many. One of the most heartfelt situations that I share often is a 24/7 client that we have. She
Mm.
has no family. They didn't have children. We took care of her and her husband. Her husband passed away, and so we still have her, and she depends on us for everything. She has dementia, and this is that person that we truly go above and beyond for. She
Mm.
has a financial power of attorney, so just someone here in town that handles the accounts. And so, unfortunately, we don't have to get involved with that aspect,
Mhm.
but we make sure someone's there to mow her yard. We ensure that she has everything she needs. Last fall, she was put into the hospital, and rehabilitation is something that we struggle with. Medicare Advantage, traditional Medicare, what type of coverage, what are the options? Some
Mhm.
of the local options we had available would not accept her due to having Medicare Advantage or Medicare Advantage. And so we just fought, and it probably took 2 weeks. And I reached out to every contact that I had because once she came home, now we were behind. She
Mhm.
needed a TB test, she needed this, she needed that. No one was willing to do that for her. She did not have an advocate. And it took everything in our power for 2 weeks to get her into rehab.
Mhm.
And I don't know if she would be here, or not, if it had not been for that situation. She is still bedbound, and I believe that's because she did not get the rehabilitation care she needed soon
Mhm.
enough.
Mhm.
And I think everybody that was within that situation agrees with that. And a couple of months ago, I get a call from her nurse.
Mhm.
The nurse's father was on hospice and she was needing some help for him. And she just started by saying, Miss So and so, she is my patient, and I've seen your staff for months care for her. I do not think she would be here without you guys. I don't know how you do it. And I know that of every provider that I've seen in the home, I want you to take care of my dad. When
Oh.
you see it come full circle, and that's just one of many. She's very special to me just because we've had her for so many years, but
Mhm.
that is one of many. They are all full circle. If you do the right thing and
Mhm.
you really take it above and beyond, without, I'm a rule follower, so without breaking rules by any means, but if you take it that next step, it is not hard to get business. It is not hard to get word of mouth because people really trust you and they know that you're doing the right things for the right reasons.
That's right. Wow, great story. Thank you for sharing. And then, when you think about candidates currently who are looking at right at home for ownership, I'd love for you to share with them one tip or a piece of advice that you would like to share as they go through this process.
Focus on the caregiver.
Mm.
If you can really get it right with the caregiver who is just as valuable as your client,
Mhm.
you'll always win with your clients. You'll win in every other space. You
Mhm.
need good people. You don't just need bodies.
Mhm.
You need real good caregivers. Take care of them, show them love. Even this, just the check-in calls, you'd be surprised how
Mhm.
far they go. If you can win with your caregivers, you will win with your clients.
Wonderful piece of advice. Thank you for that. And it's really been an honor to not only to hear your journey and really just your passion and heart for this business, but your leadership. It's evident in the way that you go into your community and care about the people that you're serving on a daily basis. So for that, thank you. And it really is an honor to have you as part of the Right at Home family.
Thank you. We love you guys.
Aw, well, thank you. And you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Y'all
All right.
too.
Okay, bye-bye.